Continuing from the previous performance points milestone, as soon as a 600 PP play was attained, everyone was left speculating what could be the first to break the 700 PP barrier. With many of the best players in the world ready to take on the challenge and cement their place in history, they wasted no time building up enough skill. The contenders for this monumentous feat would largely remain the same as for 600, but with some new additions. Every top player would try their hand at high PP plays with their own best skill set to try and push the limit. Hvick 225 was known for his many high PP double time plays, which led him to being the ranked #1 player in the world for an extended period during this time. WubWoofWolf would return to high CS, or small circle, maps with Hard Rock to try and reach some of the scores that Index had been able to do. Rafis would take it a completely different direction, learning AR11 and setting 3-mod scores which no one had thought possible before on well-known maps. These three were thought to be the only players out there capable of reaching a 700 PP play, until... On June 21st, 2015, the Twitch channel Shigatora would go live after lying dormant for over 2 years, marking Cookiezi's return to Osu. At the time, he was banned and could only play offline, but many believed that as a former god of the game, he could wreak havoc if allowed to return. He was able to pump out high 500 PP scores, but because of rust from not playing, his true potential wasn't even close to being unleashed yet. Barring a 614 PP play from Silver on Ice Angel in July, which would be nerfed out of the record in a PP change, the record stayed with Index's last journey home Hard Rock FC. Hvick 225 would be the first person to break the PP record, and just like the last time, he would do it by a massive margin. With his hidden double time FC on Miraizu on August 8th, he pushed the PP record from 607 to 665, more than halfway to the next milestone. The world still needed to catch up, but he was showing just how attainable the goal could be given the right map in a lucky run. Rafis, on the other hand, would return to a map which was already well known for his next score, and one which he had already FC'd in the past. As the foremost AR11 player at the time, he was pushing the boundaries of what people thought was possible with his extremely difficult 3-mod plays. Improving his accuracy on best friends with hidden Hard Rock double time, he defeated the old PP record by a single point, going from 665 to 666 on September 4th. WubWoofWolf, while training for OWC after returning from his yearly break, would work towards another Dragon Force Hard Rock score, which could be it. Grinding this out on stream, it became apparent it was only a matter of time, and on November 3rd, in front of more than 4,000 viewers, the FC came. For the three-peat, his Defender's Hard Rock FC again only pushed the record up by 1 performance point, bringing it from 666 to 667 PP. November also saw Cookiezi's real entry into the race as he was unbanned on the 25th and would begin his return by pumping out high PP scores. Already by December 7th, he was able to set a 663 PP play on Tamai Elegy's second difficulty with Hidden Hard Rock, which brought him to the forefront of discussion. With such unbelievable playing ability, there was even more potential maps for him to attempt, but one really caught his attention: Blue Zenith. The next day, a bounty was posed to the community, the Laziest of Noodles 700 PP challenge. If any player could break the 700 PP barrier before the end of the year, they would earn a $1,000 prize for their massive feat. There were also additional prizes for the second and third 700 PP play at $500 and $250 respectively, as well as a supporter gift for any additional 700s. With the stage set, this gave some players the motivation they needed to grind harder for scores, and with it also pressure from the January 1st end date. Maybe the challenge was just at the wrong time though, because as it turns out, no one would meet that New Year's deadline. The holidays could have contributed to it, but not Hvick 225, Rafis, WubWoofWolf, Cookiezi, nor any other player would even break the current PP record. As the first of the year arrived, the Laziest of Noodles realized that maybe players just needed some more time, and that a 700 PP play was just not possible by the end of 2015. He increased the end date of the challenge by 1 year, but sooner rather than later someone would be able to claim this prize. On January 2nd, 2016, Cookiezi, undeterred from his previous attempts, returned once more to Blue Zenith to set the best Hard Rock run that he could. Many players had developed enough stamina to keep up with the stream's no mod, but Cookiezi was one of the few talented enough to even try with Hard Rock. While streaming, he comboed through most of the map with incredibly high accuracy and began to put viewers on the edge of their seats. They knew history was about to be set. And it was. One miss on Blue Zenith Hard Rock with 99.71% accuracy. A score so memorable in Oath's history that people still talk about the PP value, 727. This was a massive margin too, considering the old record was only 667, so this score blew past it by 60 PP. It was no surprise that Cookiezi could pull something like this off, but still, everyone was left in shock over just how high his skill cap could be. With the challenge finally complete, the laziest of noodles would end up paying out the $1,000 to Cookiezi and would continue waiting for the next 700 of 2016. Many players ended up setting some 700s later in the year, including Hvick225 and Rafis, but most prominently Cookiezi, with many more scores continuously. As more farm maps flooded the listing than ever before, 700s soon became commonplace, but the charm of the first 700 never quite wore off. Although the story of this 727 PP play is quite well known, it pales in comparison to the fame of the first 800. But that's a story for another time.